What is up, everybody? It is your guy Tyler here with Mom's Basement MMA. Got a really special guest with us today. He took the world of mixed martial arts by storm earlier this summer by securing a knockout victory over one of the top rising young stars in the game in Christian Edwards. Bellator 266 will forever be remembered as the card of the tuna. We're with him. We're with Ben Big Tuna Parrish. Ben, how are you doing? A happy Halloween. And are you going as a UFC fighter for Halloween, or a Bellator fighter, or any fighter?
Um, I'm gonna go as a unicorn with my daughter, but if I was gonna go as a UFC fighter right now, I would shave my. It was funny if I was gonna dress up for Halloween, I was gonna shave my beard, go with the mustache, and go with Magnum PI. But if I'm going as a UFC fighter, I'm shaving the mustache and I'm going as Chimaev, and I'm just gonna walk up to everybody I run into and say, "Hey, I smash you, boy. I'm gonna
Okay,
smash."
so I will call you for Shimaev. I'm going as Billy Swanson. That's who I'm going as.
You.
He's a Bellator fighter. That's who I'm going as. I'm going as
I
Billy.
actually saw some of his Halloween stuff on Instagram. Somebody at his gym dressed up as him, and they pulled it off.
Man, well, I think I'm bald, but give me like an 80s rock star wig, and I think I got it, man. So happy Halloween, Ben. It's like my favorite holiday, and I'm going to ask you a few questions about, Halloween. You show up, you look pretty, you get things, and you're a pretty man, and you show up. You showed up certainly earlier this summer, and I just kind of want to talk real quick before we get too far ahead. I want to ask you a little bit about just the insanity this past 6 to 8 weeks have been for you. Ariel Helwani, Scott Coker, they're talking about you at the MMA Hour. You got newspapers all over the world talking about you. You've been hitting the podcast scene up heavily. You're like everyone's new favorite fighter, and but you're not a guy that just showed up here. You've been at this a very, very long time. You've had overwhelming success as an amateur and in your professional career prior to Bellator. You've never lost. There's that one fight as a professional. I'll ask you about that in a second where you technically lost. I think it was probably, I'm going to guess it was a Sean O'Malley kind of situation where you hurt yourself kicking the dude. So, you know what? We're going to do the O'Malley math and just do this.
No, it doesn't count. And I hope Logan Woods listen to this. I talk to him all the time. He's the guy I fought, and it was at middleweight. I've never lost at light heavyweight, even counting that. And it was actually more of a Chris Weidman, Anderson Silva. So it wasn't even like O'Malley where he fell down holding his leg. There was no, I couldn't even stand up because it would have. It just, I actually ran 3 steps with my leg broke before I fell down. And they tell me it's a wonder it didn't come through, which would have been terrible. But I honestly, even then, I knew in that fight after he hit me right as soon as the fight starts, we touch gloves. He comes out and throws his best shot. He hits me with the two right in between the eyes. Bow, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm about to really smash this guy now." Now it only goes down from there. You don't punch harder as the fight goes on, and
Right.
I speed up. I don't slow down, and I was about to really get him, but I was kicking him in the legs really hard to slow him down because he was a runner, and it just
Just one of
perfect.
those freak things. So
Yeah, bad day at the office,
for
and
all
now
intents, oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, now I have the titanium rod in my leg, so good luck.
Yeah, kick away. Kick away.
Like I said
Ben,
anyway.
for all intents and purposes, you're an undefeated professional mixed martial artist.
Yeah.
You are not this can that they put in front of Edwards. I'll talk about that in a second, but before I do, I want to ask all that stuff I mentioned before. Everyone outside of the greater Memphis area, everyone outside of the southeastern part of the country figured out real quick that you're a special guy. You're an amazing talent. Does that kind of like take you back, and like does it kind of amuse you in a sense because you know you've always been this good and just
in a
now
way.
people are finding out, or is it like overwhelming? Like how has it kind of been like
Bro,
when you reflect on just the past couple months?
n- it ain't shit changed but the dollar sign for me,
Sure.
really. I've just been living life like I always have the past however long, and I've had an increase in people trying to talk to me and get stuff out of me, et cetera, because I'm blowing up or whatever. But to me, it is kind of funny because like it's always been this way for me. And to see like what I've been trying to tell them for this long, they're finally like, yeah, man, he's the real deal now, bro. And in a way, I let them slide, but it really kind of pisses me off. Like, especially people like locally to me,
Mm-hmm.
that like they've never been to any of my fights, and then they want to say, "Oh, well, now he's good. Now we're paying attention." They're like, "It's on my bucket list to come to one of your fights live." I actually had a message where somebody told me that the other day, and I was like, bro. What are you talking about? You've been able to come for 10 years and you haven't come to one. So I
Right.
don't respond. I'm not mad at them. I, it, I was talking to Anthony Adams the other day. He posted something I like, and it's real when you are who you think you are. And I
Mm-hmm.
know who I am and what I can do. And past that, I'm just waiting on them to send me some paperwork that says I can go do it.
I think it's one of those situations where you've proven yourself time and time again, and then like it takes that sort of like mainstream validation for John Q public to pay attention. And that was the first bite. That was the first bout of yours that I had seen. But the first thing that I did after I saw that fight happen, number one, you made me some money. Thank you. I didn't really know who you were, but I was like, I'm gonna put some money on this dude because you know what? There's a reason why they're putting him in front of Edwards. Like this guy, like I saw through it, man. Like it's not to say that I'm like this insight or anything because I'm not, but I looked at it. I went on Tapology. I saw who he fought, and I was just like, this guy is really good. I was like, we'll see, but I'm gonna put money on Parrish. So thank you for the steak dinner. I appreciate that.
You
I was,
enjoy my brother.
I am not.
Hey,
I
I
wasn't
think it'll be this
surprised.
way again. It's going to take me like 3 or 4 times of doing this probably before I stop being the underdog. I'm literally the underdog almost every time I fight, and no matter how many stats I set beating them up, they just are like, whatever. He's going to lose this one for sure next time.
And
Well,
and for the record, I like Christian Edwards. I think he's a young,
me too.
talented. I think he's a young, talented guy. I think the future's bright for him. He's like
I
barely
think he
drinking
needs
age,
that.
and
I told him I think this will be the best thing ever happened to you.
I agree. I absolutely agree. Because here there are two different narratives I feel when it comes to just you and Edwards. The first narrative is one I disagree with, but I'll tell it to you anyway.
All right.
It was they are trying to build Edwards up. They're putting he fought Simon Bayong before you, who's a bad man. He was 7-1 going into that fight, and Edwards wins by unanimous decision. I know that you were supposed to fight Edwards prior to that. I know things fell through. It just didn't work out until the third time. We'll get into that in a second. And then after that, there's the bout with you. I looked at like the narrative was they're grabbing these like no name dudes from these random places. They're grabbing these cans more or less to put in front of Edwards. That's what one narrative was. I looked at it completely different. I looked at it as they're actually putting real competition in front of him for the very first time to see what they have with him. That's how I saw this. Two
Yeah, like
different
bring
narratives, but
Young in. Like I'll say the guys he fought before both of us were like, like that one
mediocre.
highlight reel I've been showed a million times of him head kicking that guy.
Mm-hmm.
That guy is probably a delivery driver for Domino's. No offense to Domino's or delivery drivers. It's just you could tell he wasn't really he didn't even try to hit him or anything. He was just kind of standing there.
Mm-hmm.
money makes people do stuff, and I'm not saying that Bellator does that, but he may train somewhere, and he was a debut pro fighter, but that's for the first 4 fights of somebody's career, you can really do that. So, but in mine, the guys I fought have losing records now, but they're still dangerous, and that's just because you couldn't get anybody that was 1-0 or 2-0 to fight me. And then Jordan Fowler, even now he's got a losing record. I hate that guy too. Um,
Why?
just he okay. So I fought this guy. It was my third pro fight, coming back from having my ACL repaired, and we fought at like middleweight, 190. I can't remember, but he comes out and he's shooting on me for his dear life, and I'm just beating him to death, Tyler. Like I've knocked him down like 5 times in the first round. He kept shooting on me, and he took me down a couple times, but I always got back up and made him keep going, hitting him the whole way along the way. And like I hit him and he face planted. Crowd jumps up screaming. I walked out to Should Have Been a Cowboy by Toby Keith, and the crowd was singing it. I've never heard that happen before until this point either. But I'm knocking him down just repeatedly, and he gets up like covering up like this on the fence, and I have both hands on the back of his head, and I just knee him in the body because he was blocking his head as hard as I can. And he sinks and starts grabbing his cup. And I look at the ref, he looks at me, and we got eye contact. And before he could even get over there, I hit him while he was down. I didn't hit him that hard, but I didn't low blow him either.
Yeah.
I mean, it was super clean. You can go search it on Facebook and watch it yourself and tell me. So now I go to these shows when I'm reffing or judging or whatever, and he's got some fighters he trains now. And when I walk in the room, he's just super smug. He's always been this way. He'll when I leave the room, people will tell me about how when I left that he'll be like, man, he had no answer for me. I took him down 4 times, 3 times in one round. That ought to let you know that if I stopped him 3 minutes into the fight, that in his mind, taking me down 5 times, he didn't really do anything if he was getting. But anyway,
Maybe he's just bitter, Ben.
He took the full 5-minute break on the low blow, and I yelled at him from across the ring and said, "You can take 10 minutes. It's not going to matter." And it didn't. I come right back out and did what I was started doing, knocked him down again. He got up. I give it to him. He's tough as a $2 steak, but he got back up. I knocked him down again, and then I choked him with one arm. Rear naked choked him with one arm. He's a tough guy, but Jordan, stop.
Let bygones be bygones, my friend. It's time to move on.
He says the same thing about another guy that was on my team that beat him, that he got set up, and it's like, bro, we're just fighting. We smashed. We don't talk about nothing else because it don't matter.
Right.
Look, check the stats. I'm just going to start telling people check the stats.
There are guys that are like that. And Ben, one of the questions that always I've always wanted to ask this question. And for you, the Edwards fight was your Bellator debut. It should have happened before. There's stuff that happened that prevented the bout with Edwards. It was rebooked. 3rd time's a charm. And you said in prior interviews, more or less, believe it when I see it. Like, I'm ready to go as soon as we get off the scale and, we do that face-off photo. That's when I know it'll be real. I'm paraphrasing you. That's more or less what you've said.
More or less exactly right, yes.
When you know it's real, you step off the scale and, you shake hands with Edwards and you kind of go your own separate ways. We got, almost an entire day now before the fight happens. And what was your mindset like, just knowing how high the stakes were, that this bout was finally going to happen? With the whole coronavirus thing happen, like, were you pretty much, like, holed up in your room? Could you move around? Like, were you nervous at all? Were you loose and happy? Like, what was that whole day after the weigh-in leading up to the bout like?
So just during the week, even like flying out there, me and my brother, I'm just like, and I think everybody goes through it. You're like, fuck, man, here we go again. It's like CJ at the beginning of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Oh shit, here we go again. And I get there, we get to the hotel and our room isn't ready. Ugh. And we had to wait like an hour or 2 hours down in the lobby. And then Christian Edwards comes in, gets his hotel room, gets all his stuff put up, and is going to eat. And I'm sitting there like, are you kidding me? Are they really going to do this to me too, to try to get me to lose? Well, the Bellator lady went over there and broke her shoe off on somebody, and they got our rooms pretty quick after that. But just day in day out, once I got to hitting the pads and stuff out of quarantine, and just like, yeah, man, there's always this thing. I'm like, am I really that good? I haven't fought anybody in a while. You know what? I'm gonna find out. And one thing I like about those Eastern Russian fighters and like in Chechnya, they have a saying that they say death is better than second place, and I'm like, I can try that. If you're if I come out and give somebody my all, that's going to turn into a war regardless. And that's what I was prepared to do. And like I feel like a lot of fighters when they get there, when I took my shoes off and my feet hit that canvas. And if you've never fought on canvas, you don't know what I'm talking about. But Bellator's cage don't got no weak baseboards like these regional shows where you trip over them and stuff. So I've got my legs feel really good. I'm grounded. And then I see him, and you're like, I'm fixing to find out. Regardless, I'm gonna attack him like my life's on the line and try to win. And you see what I'm talking about? It pulls off. A lot of guys get scared when they get in there because of the lights and the people.
Right.
So I looked the other day and to see what the live gate was at the show, and there were 10,000 people there, a little bit over 10,000 people, but I couldn't really tell because I was in there. Because I ain't worried about what they're doing. I'm worried about what me and him have got going on. Can't get drawed up. If any young fighters are listening to this, look, man, you stop treating it like you're on TV. Stop treating it like anybody's watching. Start treating it like you're at the gym. And it's just another day. Like it really just, I listened to Just Another Day by Too Short several times when I was out there. California native song. Loved it out there the whole week. Me and my training partner the night before, just sitting in the room watching Deion Sanders highlights and
just keeping it loose.
Old school Pride Fighting Championships highlights. Let me tell you, my favorite moment of the weekend was we're in the room watching Mauricio Shogun versus Minotauro Nogueira in Pride. And I'm like, yeah, I was telling my training partner, Big Red, Nathan Medlin, yeah, man, I'm finna channel. I'm the new Shogun, the young boy. I'm standing in the pocket, boom, boom. If it was illegal, I'd stomp you out. And to meet Rafael Cordero after that and get brought into the Gracie family locker room where Henzo, Half, Neiman, all Hobbs, all of them were in there. And they're like, yeah, man, I could just tell when you got in there, your eyes, that you're a straight killer and that you were prepared to do what you had to do to win. And they're 100% right. When you see that look on my face, I'm not thinking about anything else but winning. And once I felt Edwards' power, I was expecting in his first two kicks that his little kicks he landed to be really hard. If you push kick somebody with your rear leg and they don't move, Houston, you have a problem.
Right.
I don't know if he just he was just kind of feeling them out or whatever, but he kicked me twice and then he threw a punch that bounced off the top of my gloves and my head. And I'm like, yeah, I'm finna get you now, because I had no reason to respect them. Those should be your hardest strikes to set the tone. And I was able to get in there and get him, man.
And they just bounced right off of you. And, I looked at it, and I probably seen the fight a million times now. And
not a lot to watch.
There really isn't a lot to watch, but
I noticed several mistakes that I made already looking back. And is it crazy to think like John Blachowicz just lost to Glover Teixeira? Should be an eye opener. Like I think I could beat Glover Teixeira right now. So you tell me, like, what are we waiting on?
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. The last interview you did, or one of your more recent ones, I think it was James. I forget his last name. The Canadian dude that you were on his show.
Oh,
James. because I
I
want to
can't
shout.
think about like you said, I've done so many, I can't remember them all.
Yeah, yeah.
I knew you're talking about though.
Yeah, very nice guy. He has a very well done
It's fun to
show.
do.
Um, yeah. Anyway, he asked you about that, and more or less, Ben, your response was, "Well, it was like a one fight deal. I'm just kind of waiting and seeing what's going on." Is that still the case, or since your interview with James, has there been additional movement? Have they nothing? Still nothing.
I'm just still waiting, man. I don't know, but I know that the contract I have now
Mm-hmm.
runs out in like April or March, so I'll be fighting before then. I guarantee it. And if I'm
What?
not, then I guess they're letting me go.
They
But I
won't.
don't know.
They're
I ain't
not
talked
letting
to
you
them. I
go.
don't know.
There's no way.
No, there's no way. You'd be dumb to. But bro, people do dumb shit every day. So
No, you will be back, and you have talked about Machida. You said in an interview, "I want to fight him. Like top
yeah,
10 Ben, I want to fight the best guys. Give me the best guys. Those are the guys I want to fight. I've earned it. I may not have been in Bellator for a long time, but like I'm not some young kid. Like I've been around for a minute. I'm a professional.
and
I've
they talk about my time off work. It's like, and they laugh like it's cute or whatever. But in reality, like, look, you wanna talk like that? Give me the money to quit my job so I can still pay my bills. I'm gonna show you what I can do.
But
You
a
know what
lot
I
of
mean?
fighters still like there are only a handful of guys I've talked to that fight full time. Most of the
Yeah.
fighters out there
No,
do work, or they
it's
got something
very
going
hard to
on.
do. There's not, and that's what I've been saying. Like, there's not a lot of money to be made while all my friends are going out, going to these new bars and restaurants, parties, and this, that, and the other. I'm having to go home and cook
Hmm.
and wash my gym clothes and do all this other stuff. I'm not getting. It's not hasn't been like just that much fun per se. Like the relationships I've made along the way are priceless, but like as far as just fighting to be cool, like how many chicks you think I pulled just because I've won some championship belts? Zero. They don't care.
Yeah,
And young guys, again, don't worry about none of that stuff, man. Just fight and win. Fight and win. And even sometimes when you lose, your stock doesn't go down.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. You're only gonna
like
get
it's not
better.
always you're probably not gonna be undefeated forever. Let's just face facts.
You
Gotta
haven't
get
been
it. It's
fighting the right guys if you're undefeated
yeah.
forever.
If you just so happen to luck out and have a good manager and he gets you all those fights with people with not winning records or whatever, that's great. Absolutely cool. But you're gonna have to answer the phone at some point and fight somebody that is a straight up killer like me, and they're gonna come after you with everything they got. And sometimes everything you're holding is not enough to keep them off you. So better be training, working, because if you're not taking it this serious, and that's when people ask me, why do you take it so serious, Ben? It's like, well, if you were gonna fight somebody in a cage 1-on-1, wouldn't you like want to do everything you could to make sure you didn't get hurt or anything like that? So if
Yeah,
you're not
and
doing it, they probably are.
if I don't win, there's half my money out the door.
Absolutely.
So yeah, you're damn right. I want to win. And Ben, there are like three guys, or there are two guys that you've talked about. You've talked about Machida and how you want that fight. I think that's realistic. Honestly, I think it's realistic. He's on a 3 fight skid right now. It would make sense to me for that matchup to materialize. Like he's been around for a minute. He's like,
I agree.
how old is he? 42.
Give me a spot.
What he's?
Yeah,
I
give
know
me
he's in
a
his.
spot.
I know he's in his early 40s, and he has to justify his placement in the top 10. He could do that by fighting a guy like you and coming out
They
ahead. I
probably
don't think that'll happen. For the record, Lyoto Machida, I have nothing but respect for him. He's a legend of mixed martial arts, a very
yeah.
classy guy. I don't see him beating you though. I just don't see it. And I'm not saying that as a
I don't
fan of you. I'm saying that being as objective as I possibly can.
I don't think he would do it because it's a lose lose for him because he's looking at it like I'm former world champion Lyoto Machida. What are you talking about, bro? Like I'm not fixing to fight some 5-1 fat boy type deal. If I lose to him, it makes me look awful. If I win, it doesn't make me look any better. So what I think is going to happen, you take me take my expertise on this. Machida is going to fight Homero. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to wind up either fighting Alex Polizzi or the British Dosser
Trainer?
Chad. Yeah, what's his name?
Luke Trainer? The guy that called
Timothy.
you out? That one?
Yeah, the gym rat that's like where it's sponsored by Gymshark and just does lap pull downs and stuff. He literally posted a video saying something about fighting me while he's in the gym going lap pull downs, and it's like, brother, stop, man.
You know what
Please,
though?
keep fighting your good fight. I like that guy a lot for what he's doing, but like, let me take care of Machida, and you may kind of just like do your thing, do whatever you're doing, and let me see you down the line. Because like, if he runs into me right now, he takes way too much damage to be messing with me. You got another. He's the white Christian Edwards. Out
Yeah.
Florida. They could take that however I want. That's who they're going to want me to fight. Fine with me, whatever. Or it's going to be Polizzi, I would think, because he won his last fight, and they're going to try to kill some birds with stones, I think. But I really want to fight Lyoto Machida. I'm not a greedy person either, brother. Like, I'm not asking for a lot of money or anything like that. Give me what I'm worth and give me my shot, though.
Would you take somebody like Grant Neal?
Sure. Like, I don't. At this point, I'm fighting my contract out. If I lose, win, draw, I don't care anymore. Like, I'm gonna try to win with everything I got. So when I'm fighting, I'm not fighting to win or lose. I'm fighting to defend myself, and that comes above show and win money and anything else. So I'll do whatever I got to do to protect my health.
I want to see
And
the Machida fight personally.
I do too. American karate.
I think it's a good fight. I think it's a good, entertaining fight.
I do too. And I believe a lot of people would. I believe that if you let me fight anybody in San Jose or down south here, even him in Brazil, like, people are tuning in. I've got enough people ordering Showtime now, probably to justify paying me whatever that's worth. I don't know what that is. That's why I have a manager, and he's really good. So I have no doubt they'll figure something out, man. Like, but I'll fight whoever they got. And
well, I hope it's a good purse, because
I would rather fight a fun fight like a striker, though. Like, I'm like fighting a Grant Neal or Polizzi. They're sweaty. They'll literally try to wait till the end of the round to score a takedown and hold. And like, I'm gonna like attack them right off the bat, essentially, if I fight them, and they're either gonna get me down and lay, or I'm gonna split them open really bad and submit them.
I would love to see the Machida fight. I think it's the best fight. I think it's a fan-friendly fight. It should happen. Mr. Coker, please make that happen, because we, the fans, we want to see it.
Scotty.
We want to see Ben back in the ring ASAP.
Look, I just want to talk to Scott Coker on a Zoom call like I'm on with you right now. Like, I know Corey Anderson talked about how he met and had lunch with him and stuff. Like, if somebody could get me a 10-minute Zoom call with Scott Coker, not to talk about money or any of that dumb stuff, just let him talk to me. Let him talk to me myself personally.
I'm surprised not at one point during the event, post or pre, you didn't even get a chance to like shake his hand and say hi.
I said, how are you going to defeat me wearing these denims and this vest?
And flip-flops.
Yeah, I took my boots off, but I had cowboy boots on. Like, when I have those on, the damage goes through the roof. Like, how are you going to defeat me wearing this? I'm literally like, I've got a power level over here. You know what I mean?
I love it, man.
Doesn't matter where, Bellator, Manchester, Cuba.
No, let's make the fight happen. I think the only way Machida fights you is if it's in Brazil. Honestly,
which would be cool with me. I'm not even super thrilled about going down there, but I will do it.
I know you would, and so let's make it happen. Let's do it. And Ben, before I let you go, first and foremost, I wanted to really thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
You are one of my favorite fighters in any weight class, just because I think that it says something about you. Like, if you're willing to put in the work to do anything, you can do it. It doesn't matter. We make such a big deal in society about certain things. So like, I had Billy Swanson on, one of your friends, last week, and Billy told me something, and it really stuck with me. He's just like, listen, I know how good I am, but here's the reality. He's like, the reality is I don't look the part. I get a lot of haters, people that make fun of me, people that talk shit about me. A lot of people don't take me seriously because of my appearance. I get a lot of shit. But anyone who knows me knows I'm an athlete, I'm a competitor, and I'm good enough to be on a high level. And he more or less said, to paraphrase him, he was just like, Ben is the exact same type of guy. There's a lot of
Absolutely.
people that have given that guy shit for because people are stupid, but he's like, I don't think people understand how good he is, and he deserves to be there. I'm paraphrasing, but that's in essence what Billy said
And
about
I
you.
feel the same way about him, man. We're cut from the same denim, and when you compete like this, always, and Billy's the same way. He's fight all the best amateurs, all the best local pros. Like we just want to do it. Like we're not in here. We're not here to talk about it or negotiate regional contracts. Like let's get it on. And same for them now. I'm too old, too young to feel this old. You know that song? Yeah. Okay. I'm more or less like that now, and oh, I'm ready to get it going. I'm here for a good time, not a long time, and I want to win this world championship and go from there, making money, or find out if somebody's got my number. But
But you put in your
good
time,
luck.
Ben, and you deserve that kind of opportunity. And before I let you go, I want to give you the opportunity. If there's anyone from your gym that you need to shout out, if you have anyone who sponsors you, I know it takes an army for these types of things, so I always like to give you
Gosh,
guys
how much more
the
time we got? Because I could go on and on thanking people. All
you
my
take the time you need.
teammates. Thank all my teammates at Tupelo Jiu Jitsu Academy, all my teammates, Oxford Fitness Kickboxing, um, just all my street soldiers that are out there in the dirty South with me from the top of Tennessee to the tip of Florida. We're holding it down out here. And if there's any way I can ever bring somebody into a big league show like Billy Swanson or any of my local guys, who I ain't got time to list all of you. Like I'm 100% do it. I know who's the real and who's the fake, and you're looking at the real one, number one, because I'm the best to do it today. Like I've been doing this since I was young, and I cannot wait to show everybody on TV, internet, local WTVA radio station who still hadn't called me for an interview.
You're on my
Everybody.
show though, so I'm better than them.
Yeah, this is right. But people ask me all the time, like, why does WTVA only report depressing news? But like when, you win this huge fight on TV, they're talking. They reported Justin Thornton passing away, but they won't report me winning literally 10 minutes from their thing. I'm serious. This
That's stupid.
everybody in America, look, hey, stick together, brothers and sisters, stick together. Don't get oppressed. Do the oppressing, right?
Perfect, man. You are a legend, Ben. I really appreciate your time.
Hats off to you, Tyler.
Thank you,
Have a
man.
great, happy Halloween.